Hi, it's Jordan Teen 1, and today I'll be showing you how to make this new creative heart charm. Here's what it looks like. It's based on the same concept as my swag bracelet or charm that I had done previously, where it's one long string of half circles, and then I just put them together to form this really cute heart. And here's another one that I made using purple colors. I use a dark purple for the main part and then a lighter purple for the accents. So I think it turns out really sweet. And the one I'm going to be showing you today is the pink, as you can see by my colors here. And you can make it using either the Rainbow Loom or the Monster Tail. And today I'll be showing it on the Monster Tail. But if you are using the Rainbow Loom, you just want to have your pins set up in a straight row so they're all in line with one another, and you would just be working with 6 pins in the shape of a rectangle. And then that's what I'm going to be doing on the Monster Tail here. And for my bands today, I have Rainbow Loom Pink and Fuchsia, and you're going to need about 138 bands in total. So today I have 112 of the light pink and 26 of the fuchsia. So before we actually start looming, I just wanted to quick show you what it's going to look like as you're making it. So you're going to be forming half circles that are connected end to end, and there's going to be a total of 6 of them all together. And then for each half circle there's going to be a cap band, and then there's going to be 3 additional bands that go inside of that cap band, and then for each of those there's 3 more additional bands that are going inside. So that's the pattern we're going to be following as we make this heart. So the first thing that you're going to do is take your outside color, and so I have the pink, and that's going to go straight across the top and twist. And now we're going to come down from the top to the bottom on the right hand side. You're always placing the bands in that direction, starting from the top. And so I'm going to continue with the lighter pink. And then the next one down is going to be the fuchsia. And then at the bottom here is where we're going to place our first cap band. So you're just taking the band, placing it on your hook, twisting and putting it back on. So you have the 2 loops, and then it's just going to go right on the top here. And now we just need to loop this. So I'm going down inside of the cap band. I'm going to push back on the top 2 there. The bottom one comes up through, and I am just going to use my thumb and hold the cap band so it doesn't pop off. And then once again I have to go down inside here, and I'm getting the next one going up to the top. And then once you do the looping to the top, you always want to place a border band on. It's going to be the outside of the half circle. And then you'll have 3 bands on the right. So you can either grab them all 3 at once, the 3 lowest bands, or if you want, you can take them off in sections. So if you're going to do it in sections, you want to grab the middle 2 first, pull that over, and then also the bottom. And then on the left hand side you just have the bottom 1, and we're pushing that down. And so we have 1 band that's now gone inside of this center fuchsia band, and we want to do 2 more. So for this, what I'm going to do is just grab these 2 bands and slide them off. But I'm going to just leave my hook through. I just find it easier that way. And now I can place this light pink band on. Whoops. And then I'll just slide this right back on. And then you want to do the looping. So you're just bringing that up through. And then you need that next border band. You'll have the bottom 3, so I'm just going to grab them all 3 at once. And then on the left here, just the 1. And so now I have 2 through here, and I want 1 more. So once again, I'm just going to slide this off, but leave my hook inside of there. put the next band on, and then I can slide this right back on. And then I'll just do the looping. Push that down, and I'll have another border band to go on. And then again, it's the bottom 3 from the right and 1 from the left. So now we have those 3 bands through this middle fuchsia. So I'm totally done with that, so I can take that right off of there. But I am still just going to leave this one on the bottom here. And now I'm going to lay my next bands. So I am going to always start from the top down. So I have this light pink. And then the next one's going to be fuchsia from the middle down. But you can see we have this cap band in the way. So all you're going to do is that same concept where you just slide it off of the pin, but then leave your hook there through the center. Place that on, and now I can just slide this right back on. And then once again, I need to loop here. And then I need my next border band. And I have the 3 on the one side and then the 1 on the other. So that was just my first one through this next center fuchsia. So I have to do the second one. So again, I'm just going to slide this off. Add my next band and then slide this right back on. And then bring it up through. And of course I'm adding the border. And then removing the bottom. So I think the hardest part is just trying to keep track and remembering which one you're on, how many you're doing. So that was our second one. So I'm just going to slip this off and add the third. And now I'm removing that bottom. Just be careful too as you're pulling these up over, especially on the monster tail, that your upper bands are staying on. And so now I can just totally release this middle because I'm finished with that. I've now done 3 through that loop, and I'm ready to do my next one here, again laying it from the top down. So I have the light pink on the top, and then once again you're going to have to remove this cap band. Just get it out of the way for the moment. And I need a fuchsia here at the bottom. You can slide this right back on. Now if by chance this slips off your hook, it's really not a big deal. All you have to do is just find your cap band again. Just make sure that it's not twisted. You want it to be straight. And then you would just slide it right back on. And now these need to come up through. I think if you're using the Rainbow Loom, it's a little bit easier because the openings for the pins are facing towards you. They're not on the side. And now I'm doing the next border. So this will be my first band that's going through this middle fuchsia. So I have 2 more, and then that's going to complete the whole half circle. So I'll just slide this off. So that's my second one. And then I have just one more to do, so I'm sliding it off here for the last time. And here's my last border band for this half circle. And now what I can do is release both of these, and this is just going to hang. It's going to just be connected by this one band at the top. And if you look here in the bottom, you can see that it's growing out. We've completed our first half circle. So you're just going to repeat that pattern all over again. Let me just start the next one. So again, you're working from the top down. So we're doing the lighter color and then the dark. Now since this is a new half circle, you would need to make a new cap band. So you're just doubling, putting it right back on, and then you want to do the looping. And then place that border. So I would just continue on with the same pattern. I need to get 2 more bands to go through this center one, and then that would come off. I would add another one and then do 3 through that middle band, and then the last one again would get 3 through the middle, and you would be complete with that second half circle. So I hope that everyone was able to get the concept. I am just going to fast forward here, but if you feel like you need to have a little bit more instruction, you can always go back in the tutorial to follow along again. I have now completed my 6 half circles, so now I want to remove this from the loom. So you should just have one band here at the top. So I'm just going to pick up the right side, leave that on my hook, and pick up the left side. Now I can take this completely off, and for right now I'm just going to take a clip and get it to go through the 2 sides here. And so now we have to form the heart. So I'm going to start on the other end. This is where we first started, and you'll see sort of hanging off here is a sort of loose band. This is the very first one we placed that we made the figure 8 with. So you should have 2 sides of that. If you pull one, the other one will go in. That's how you know you have the very end one. And what we need to do is connect that through this loop here that connects the second and third half circles. So what I'm going to do is just leave this sort of stretched out, and I want either side of this to go on the outside. It's going to sort of wrap around this. So the top side here, I want to go on the right. I'm going to put my hook through this loop. Then I'm going to get it to go through these 2 bands here, one that connects the 2 half circles, and then coming on the other side I want the other half of that first band. So when you get your hook through, it should be through all 4, and then I'm going to take an additional band of that same color, and I just needed to slide through these 4 bands, and then I'm going to get the other end back on my hook, slide one through the other, whoops, try this again, slide one through the other, and pull that nice and tight, making a slip knot. And now what I need to do is go to that next half circle down, and this time they're going to go inward here. So I want to find the very center point of this half circle. It's going to be straight across from the cap band. And I want the 2 bands that are on the very end here. I don't want to hook it through the border band that's running along the front and back. I want it through the ones that are across the top. And then I want to do the same thing for the next one here. This is the next half circle down. It's actually the 3rd one down. I want to find that center point. So find the middle here and go straight across, and this is the band here. I'm going to go through the top. Should be going through 2 bands. And now what I'm going to do is just slide the 2 that are on the end of my hook through the other 2. That's just going to link them together. And then I'm going to do that again for this 4th half circle down. I need to find the center point here, and I want to get my hook to go through the 2 that are right in the middle, and then I'm going to pull them through the other 2 on my hook, and I'm going to slide this around, do the same thing one more time. I need to find the very center point here at the top, get my hook to go through, and then slide them through. So now that is going to bring this up, and it's going to make like a diamond, if you hold it this way, or a square shape with these 4 half circles. And so on the back here, what I'm going to do is take another band and just slide it through here, get it back on my hook. Oops, pulled a little bit too hard there. Get it to go right back on, and then I'm going to make a slip knot. So that's going to keep those together. So you can see you're going to wind up with a couple of loops here on the back, but that's okay, we'll take care of them. So now going back to the front here, we have our diamond shape, we have our right side of the heart, and now for the left side here, what we need to do is just connect this. So again, let me just hold this, and I'm going to slip it off here, slip the clip off. So you can see we have the 2 sides, and again where the 2 half circles meet, the previous ones, you can see this loop here. I want to get these 2 loops to go sandwich these other 2 loops. So this part can be a little bit tricky. You just want to make sure that you don't let this come apart here, because it is your loose end. So I'm just going to put my hook through the one on the right, and then I'm going to go through where they connect here, through these 2, and then the other end. So you can see how that's sandwiched in between there. So I have the 4 bands, and then once again take an additional band, and I want to slide it through these 4 loops. Get it through that last one, put it back on my hook, slide one end through the other, and I want it to pull towards the back here. This is the back. Pull that nice and tight so it's not going to come apart. So you can see here we're finally starting to get our heart shape, but we're going to need to do a couple more bands that are just going to link this together. So let me flip to the back here. And what I want to do is where this half circle is, the one part of the heart, the arch, and where this other half circle is, I want to just hook those together. And I want the loop to be on the back here. So what I'm going to do is just reach my hook through. I'm going to take this fuchsia color, because that's the color that I am working with. I'm going to pull it through to the back, and I'm holding it in my fingers on the other side. Then I want to go through the other hole, and I'm going to just pick up that loop and pull it through. So now I'm going to do that slip knot where I pull one through the other nice and tight. So now if you look on the front, you can see that those are now hooked together. It just closes it up there. I'm going to do the same thing for the other side. So again, I'm going to take my hook from the back and go through to the front. Take another fuchsia band. I'm going to leave it in my fingers here. Pull it through to the back get my hook to go through the other circle. Now I can hook that on and pull that through to the back. Pull one side through the other, nice and tight. And then I have my other slip knot that's holding those together. And then another place where you probably want to put another band, another slip knot, is here where the heart sort of splits. You want that to be more together here, so let me just take another pink band, and what I'm going to do is just from the back, I don't want it to be seen from the front, I'm just going to go through these border bands on either side of the arch, and I'll just pull this through those 4 bands, get it back on, make another slip knot nice and tight. So that's just link those together, and that's pretty much it. If you notice that it's sort of gaping or you can see holes and where these meet, you can always add a couple more slip knots there to make it nice and tight. So now on the back you'll have a bunch of loops that you're going to have to just tie together. And so what you can do also is, like here, I can see it's a little bit of a space. So with this loop, what I'll do is just take my hook, go through some of these bands on the back, on either side here, and then I can grab this loop and pull it through, and that'll just help to tighten that up. And then I'm going to just take some of these loops and pull one through the other. Here, I'll grab this one. And if there's any other spaces where you think you might want them to go together, for example, let me just leave this one go for now, and I'll go down here. And here you can see they're not quite all the way together, so I'm going to do that same thing where I'm just going to go through the back side of the border bands, go through the 4, and now I can take this loop that I need to hide anyway and slide it through, and then I'll get this one to go through. You just want to make sure as you're doing it, it's not changing the position of the heart. If it's too tight, it's going to make it curl in, and you don't want that to happen. So you can just use your judgment on that. Put these together, and then we have this one here. So I think that looks pretty good. So what I'm going to do is take a C-clip here, and I'll just hook it through. And then I want this C-clip to also be anchored, so I'm just going to go through some of these bands here on the back. And actually I'll just go through each side of the bottom section because we didn't actually put a band to link those together. And so then your heart is complete. So you can fiddle around with the bands a little bit till you get it nice and neat looking. And then here is the purple one that I showed you at the beginning. So there's tons of different color choices you can make. You don't even have to keep with this pattern. I mean, within the half circles you can switch up the colors as much as you want, and it'll create a different look every time. I hope that everyone loves their new creative heart charms. You can always leave me comments on YouTube and Facebook, post pictures of your creations to my Facebook page, and please feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel so you can stay up to date on my latest tutorials. You can also find me on Pinterest and Instagram, so please feel free to subscribe to those as well. Thanks for watching!